Hi there, we're going to look today at turning points. So how you figure out where a quadratic graph, and that's really what we're talking about, turns. Okay. Now you'll have done this before probably if you've done completing the square, but maybe not realised that that's what you're doing for it. So if you're trying to find a turning point of a quadratic function or a quadratic graph, then what you're looking for is basically complete the square. All right. So the turning point is when the squared bracket equals 0. All right, so let's have a look at the terms of that, what that means. So when I find the turning point of y equals x squared plus 6x plus 7, I am looking to complete the square, as I've done before. So if you haven't done that before, then please look at complete the square before kind of looking at this one. We are going to half the value in the middle, all right, so half this value here, which is 3. And that's the bit that goes in the bracket, so x plus 3 squared. Obviously, if I was going to expand all that, I'd have a 9, so I need to take that off, and then add the 7. All right, so just kind of simplifying that, you've got x plus 3 squared minus 2. All right, so that is completing the square effectively. All right, so how does that tell you the turning point? Well, it's actually these two numbers here that tell you the turning point, because if you consider the fact that this bracket is completely, well, whatever number I put in for the value of x, let's put it that way, you're going to square it, then it doesn't really matter what these numbers are, you're going to square it. So the smallest that this bracket can be is 0, effectively, because it can't be negative, because I'm then going to square it. So the smallest value, the lowest value you can have in your graph, is actually this number here. All right, so that is the lowest point. So in terms of your coordinate for your turning point, your y part of your coordinate is this number here, the minus 2. And that will never change, all right, so it's y minus 2. However, if you're looking for the x coordinate, well, the thing that makes this the smallest is when this bracket equals 0. So what value in here, so when you've looked at, so basically solving a quadratic by factorising, we'll have done this already, is that what value in this bracket makes it equal 0? Well, it's when x is minus 3. So it's the opposite of what this is saying here. So it's like minus 3, all right? So ultimately, we say here, so all the square root is always positive, the smallest it can be is 0. So x plus 3 squared equals 0. So when x is minus 3, that's the smallest it can be. And so the turning point occurs when x is minus 3, and obviously the value at that point is when your y coordinate is minus 2. All right, so you can see hopefully from my answer here that the y bit here is minus 2. That's exactly as you see, but the bit that's inside this bracket is the opposite, all right, because it needs to equal 0. All right, so that's your turning point, okay, and that's it in a nutshell. Nothing more than that. So your skill that you are really looking for is you need to be able to complete the square. Once you've identified or you've completed the square, then the number inside the bracket, it's always the opposite of that for your x coordinate, and the number outside the bracket, the minus 2 in this case, is your y value. All right. So please visit maths-school.co.uk for some additional practice. The link is at the bottom of the page anyway. But by all means, obviously, you want to revisit this lesson, you obviously can do it at any particular time. Thanks for listening.